Nice to have you here with me. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to look at a new article from the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. Who are they? Otherwise known as ICIJ. And this article that they've published was given to me directly from the head honcho of these journalists because they have been corresponding with me quite a lot lately. And they said they're doing a whole series on crypto articles and they want me to have a look at them and see what I think. So this one caught my eye and people keep saying to me, have I seen this article? It's about crypto to cash shops operating in Dubai, Toronto, and Ukraine. So take your crypto, turn it into cash, buy assets. That's what's making crypto so exciting for people who are using it to conduct criminal activities because it's very hard to track. This article aims to claims these places make it easy for criminals to move money without checks, no ID, and no questions asked. And we've got a reporter on the ground who's actually proven this, and that's what we're going to go through. In this voiceover, I'm going to read the article with you step by step. As we go through it, I'll point out what's true, what's exaggerated, and what the reporter didn't explain. Now, I've asked ChatGPT to help me with a introduction, and those lines I don't actually agree with. But we'll see if I've got my 2 cents worth. I'm not a crypto junkie. I don't know anything about crypto really, other than people use it to defraud people because it's easily switched out of crypto into cash, and that's what we're going to go through. I want to keep it simple, clear, especially for anyone who has lost money in the crypto scam. Have you wondered where your money goes and how bad it is once you've transferred your fiat currency into crypto, and then how does it get off crypto untraceable? And what you need to understand, I'm going to help you understand exactly what happened to your money. When victims send money to a scam platform, the scammers usually move it fast. They push it through anonymous wallets, often in Binance where we can't see it. Then these cash desks, they push it to these cash desks. At one point, the crypto is turned into physical cash, often in minutes. Once that happens, the money becomes totally untraceable. And that is why most victims never get a real recovery. It's not because they didn't try hard enough, it's because the system is built to hide money. And that's the sad and the truth of the matter. The whole system is now geared up for criminals to get away with the money. It's like saying there's more than one car parked outside the bank when we're robbing it. There's 30, 50 million cars out there, and you can pick any vehicle you like to hide the cash as soon as you walk outside the bank that you've stolen the money from. We'll talk about how these cash desks really work, how scammers use them to wash stolen money, and why your funds can disappear across borders before you even realize that you've been scammed. These operations are part of a shadow financial network and sits outside normal banking rules. They don't apply, which is why traditional law enforcement struggles to follow the trail. Because you remember when you're doing I don't know if you've done any crime fighting, they always say follow the money. That's why it's getting really, really hard. I went to the Global Financial Crimes Summit 2024 in Sydney, Australia. Ken Gamble put it on, and they showed us how money laundering actually works. They showed us how they actually put cash into crypto and they monitor where this crypto sits there for weeks, months, and it never moves. In one case, $22 million was laundered into crypto, and they didn't know what the people were doing with this money. And think about this. How many people do you know can afford to have $22 million sitting there doing nothing? That's what these criminal networks do. They have these large cash reserves ready for what? No one knows. Is it going to be terrorist events? Is it going to be funding wars? Who knows what that money is going to be for? So my goal is to help you understand the process so you can see how these scams operate and why recovery companies promising miracles they are mostly lying. Now, talking about Ken Gamble, he does help people track their crypto. He never, ever guarantees he can help you get your crypto back. But some people need a bit of closure and they live with hope, thinking that because it was so easy to get your money into these platforms, it's going to be easy for them to recover. And that's not the case. And that's what Ken Gamble, ifwglobal.com, You go to his website, you can see that that's the services he provides. There's also other companies out there that I've dealt with, and they want to help monitor and track, and they believe that the best thing that you can do is cause a lot of disruption, and that's what we're all about here, myself and my Avengers. Once we understand the system, we are in a much better position to spot the red flags. That's what I want to do. If you understand that well, I don't want to say silly, but once you transfer your money into the blockchain and give it over to somebody else, it's game over. So let's go through it together. Take your time and let's get a clear picture of how crypto to cash networks actually operate. Now, as I said, we've actually been working and talking to the people that have produced these articles. And as I said, they've got 3 articles that they've just published: the Russian crypto gurus Hollywood Grammar. And then you've got this other one here: crypto gains move billions linked to money launderers, drug traffickers, and North Korea hackers. So what is really good about this organization here is they have got reporters from all over the world who are able to cover stories and gain intel. And that's why I've been talking to the people behind this organization, because they are asking me questions and I'm asking them questions, and we're working together quite nicely. So from Dubai to Toronto, inside the crypto to crypto cash storefronts, fueling, money laundering, new frontier. Sounds like the Wild West, doesn't it? These shadows operations have made it easier than ever to move dirty money around the world. One man's on a mission to expose them, and that is Spencer Woodman. So this was only published on the 17th of November, and as I said, I keep getting people say to me, have you seen this, Danny? And I go, yeah, I have. But to be honest, I did start reading it. It was quite long, and I thought I can't keep up with this, and hence why I wanted to do it as a video so we could both absorb it together. So if you've got any questions, there's a chat room in the bottom here. Feel free to ask. I'm recording this at 11 minutes past 3. What am I trying to say? 11 minutes past 3 on a Friday afternoon. I've even got myself a nice can of beer that I can drink here from Cashels, which I believe is the best can of beer drink you can ever have. So I might have a drink, grab yourself a drink, have a cup of coffee, put me on pause and come back to me if you like. But more importantly, feel free to engage with me. Now, most of the people that I do my YouTube videos with are living in America. Now, it's probably about 12 or 1 o'clock in the evening over there at the moment. So you're probably not going to see this while I'm doing it live. However, Fitness New Zealand is here. He has a question. Why haven't you got a beer? Ask away, Steve. You're more than welcome to have a question. And I'll read the first paragraph while Steve's typing in with 2 fingers.
Showing all scenes, clock, dehak.com, NDI, phone.
That's not what I want to read. So it says we had
just pulled into the bus station in Lviv, Ukraine, when the city's air raid sirens began to wail. I'd taken an 8-hour trip from Kyiv with Richard Sanders, a US Army veteran who was crisscrossing the war-torn country to collect digital intelligence. Sanders is a volunteer for Ukraine's National Police Force, which has become increasingly concerned about Russian operatives being paid in cryptocurrency.
So Steve wants to know, this is off topic, is Steinlager Pure the best beer? Now, I drink Steinlager Pure with Steve, only Steve. And when we go and pick up the takeaways on a Friday night normally, or a Saturday, we have a Steinlager Pure beer just before we have dinner. And it does taste the best. They come out of the bottle, not better than drinking out of a can. But I must admit, this is my favourite beer, and it's Castle's. It's not the cheapest beer in the world, but it's certainly one of the nicest. Why are you not drinking whiskey today? Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's listen to this, because this is pretty high tech. This is what we call old-fashioned journalism. This guy has gone to these money exchanges with a backpack of cash. And if we click on this button here, I'm going to bring up the picture. And that's the picture today. I think he likes me, that guy. The way he's looking at me is a bit weird, but that's ChatGPT. But we've both got a backpack full of money. I've got the hiccups. The beer's going down the wrong way. And I'm going to go get the original. Oh, you'll see the original article in a second anyway. Be sure to make sure to do the poll, But if you go to this image here, you can see this is actually the journo that it actually has a camouflage backpack on his backpack. And I chucked that into ChatGPT, and before you know it, we got this one here. Not a bad likeness though, is it? It's not bad. It's pretty good. All right, so let's get into it. So, yep, there he goes.
Sanders grabbed his camouflaged luggage, which contained a hidden camera disguised as a car key, a wand to scan for eavesdropping devices in his hotel room, and an array of tourniquets in case of an airstrike. He also carried a stack of cash and a digital wallet on his iPhone loaded with cryptocurrency.
Wow, that's real reporting.
My editor's directive was clear: find a bunker at the first warning of incoming drones or missiles, so I flagged a cab to the closest bomb shelter on my map. Sanders, though, had more pressing matters to attend to. Sorry to ditch you, he said. There are targets I have to hit before close of business.
Oh, don't know, that's a good use of words. But obviously he's in the war-torn country.
His targets were embedded in the country's vast shadow financial system, where untold amounts of cryptocurrency are exchanged for hard cash, and vice versa, with few questions asked, and almost no regulation. He didn't want to lose any time in making strategic crypto purchases.
Wow. So obviously he's in one of the countries that they exchange crypto into cash just on a heartbeat. And it's just an everyday occurrence there, which is it's just total mayhem, isn't it? You do wonder though, if you can go along with a whole lot of crypto and turn it into cash, doesn't that just make cash worthless? One day though, I'm not biblical at all anymore. I don't really care, just saying. But there is a scripture in the Bible that says there will be a period where mankind throw their money onto the streets. Let's just hope the Bible's not correct.
I'd come to Ukraine to meet Sanders, one of the world's foremost experts on these crypto-to-cash operations, which have surged in number not only there but in Hong Kong, Toronto, Istanbul, Dubai and other cities around the world. These services allow holders of cryptocurrency to cash out huge sums without touching the mainstream banking system or its safeguards on dirty money tied to organized crime, human trafficking or foreign sabotage operations. Along with a growing number of researchers, Sanders sees the expanding exchange of often anonymous cryptocurrency with cash as posing a dire threat to the global anti-money laundering system that has been constructed over decades.
Yeah, so I was talking to a reporter company just recently, a couple of days ago. In fact, I think it was yesterday. And they're trying to come up with a sort of an angle to cover some of the stuff that I'm doing. And I actually said that. I said, why can you go into a dairy and steal something, like a can of baked beans, get arrested, and then fingerprinted, and even get a court appearance all within 24, 48 hours? Not that I've done that to know that. So now you've got these people that can steal money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the only way to get your money back is to file a lawsuit and prove that the person, find that person, make them accountable, and these guys steal your money, take off to Dubai, change your crypto into cash in a heartbeat, and go pay. Like in Dubai, you can pay cash for a house if you want to. No one asks any questions. So it makes a mockery of money in general. And the fact that these criminals can just, if we go back to here and it says Hong Kong, Toronto, Istanbul, and Dubai are cities where you can just turn your stolen crypto into cash and buy assets with cash and not be traced. It's absolutely disgusting.
If you have this way to move money with absolutely zero checks on it, you're facilitating an unlimited amount of crime, Sanders said. I could not have in my worst dreams predicted the reality we're in now.
Yeah, so here's one of the kiosks. Obviously, he's got a bag on his back. I presume that's meant to be money. But he's in Ukraine at the moment, and he's on a cell phone. He's got an iPhone 14, 15, or 16, or 17 there, because he's got 3 cameras on the back. So Sanders is a volunteer for Ukraine National Police Force. He has been concerned about Russian operatives being paid in cryptocurrency. So here we go. Let's read about it.
Sanders acted as my guide through this new financial underworld, taking me to crypto-to-cash operations in more than a dozen loosely regulated shops, from gritty backrooms in Kyiv to sleek offices in the upper reaches of skyscrapers in the United Arab Emirates. I witnessed more than $130,000 in transactions with these operators, who rarely asked for identification, and, on one occasion, openly discussed handling dirty money.
Wow. So there you go. And even if they did check your ID, whether it means anything.
Along with partner reporters, the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists spoke with more than a dozen cryptocurrency experts and law enforcement officials who expressed deep concern over the rise of a parallel banking system often operating in anonymity and ripe for abuse. This new financial system has successfully evaded regulators and law enforcement alike, hindering investigations with effectively anonymous cryptocurrency addresses, the crypto equivalent of bank account numbers, and scant customer information.
Yeah, so what it reminds me of being at the beach, somebody hands you a bucket full of sand and you've got your hands out like this and it's just going through your fingers and you can't stop anyone. That's what it seems like.
Seeing the amount of money being pushed through these desks, it's absolutely staggering, said Nick Smart, the Chief Intelligence Officer for Crystal, a firm that analyzes public ledgers called blockchains that record most cryptocurrency transactions. We don't know who's using them or why they're using them.
Yeah, so that's crazy, isn't it?
Smart has overseen a team that, over 2 years, has collected intelligence on hundreds of crypto-to-cash operations on 5 continents. Last year alone, the team found that Hong Kong's cash desks processed at least $2.5 billion in crypto transactions. Smart says that while there are legitimate uses for the operations such as remittance payments, they are a perfect place to operate as a criminal because no one's going to ask any questions.
Yeah. Yeah, what's the world coming to, guys? I mean, that's it, isn't it? It's just nothing really matters anymore. There's a song about that. I think you can sing that one. Nothing really matters anymore. So what did the investigation uncover?
Our investigation also uncovered crypto-to-cash courier services, often arranged on the Telegram messaging app, operating in Miami, Washington, New York, Montreal, and London. These services offer to dispatch couriers with bundles of cash in exchange for a customer's cryptocurrency. Sometimes these services offer a premium for customers taking hard cash. Anti-money laundering experts say this raises a red flag because it indicates that an organization has lots of cash it wants to offload without using a bank. This reporting is part of the Coin Laundry, an investigation by ICIJ in collaboration with 37 media partners. The Coin Laundry exposes how the crypto industry has profited from illicit financial flows while leaving most of those harmed in the process without recourse.
Wow, it's amazing. I watched a Trilogy Media video just the other day. It was actually really cool. I'm just going to break silence here and let's go to Crypto Avengers. And it was the opposite though. Let's see if I can find the history. But they had this lady who was waiting for the old guy. I say the old guy to where is it? It was actually a really good video. But they had this old guy standing on the street corner. Is this the one? Oh, here it is. This is the most hard-case video I've seen.
Funny part about this.
So they dressed him up as an old guy, and then they got him. Yeah,
there is a man sitting in a gray car with hazards. There's a small child in the back. He actually looked Hispanic, not Asian.
Oh, I don't think that's him because... With a baby in the back?
Yeah, it was probably like a 4-year-old just kind of laying down.
He actually wasn't this picture.
Yeah, here we go.
Right. When he did his scooping the pooping, right? He did his undercover surveillance and all this stuff, scooping pooping, these are things. He was walking down the street and he said, guys, there is a car.
There we go.
Freaking quick! I was like, they're watching us. They're watching us. It blows away every time how fast the communication is when the mule is Chinese, says they don't speak English, even though a lot of times they do. No, but the communication from Mandarin to Hindi back to us in English is almost instantaneous. Tell him I'm standing on the corner.
Yeah, so here he is standing on the corner.
Got myself on my hooker corner, as it were, with my box of cash. Yeah. And
so he's dressed up like
floated around.
Someone's coming.
So he's dressed up as an old guy, and they've got this lady who lives in America, who's Chinese, who's going to pick up $60,000 from him, one of those PayPal scams. And anyway, she turns up and she says, "Oh, don't flash the money around, people will see it." Perfect English. And then when they basically confide in her and say, who the hell are you? So here she is here. And this is the second time they've ever had a woman actually come along and do it. And she didn't even know the password, which was Candy. And long story short, they followed her through, they chased her down the road. And then she was trying to, listen to this. You've got to listen to some of this.
I don't know.
Call the cops then. If you're not a scammer, call the cops.
Yeah, let's call the cops. If you like, why did you come to get money? You want to call the cops? Let's call the cops.
I don't have money.
Let's go. Stop walking on the street. Let's go on the left.
Yeah, so I just thought that was amazing, but this is actually very real. I mean, I know this story is about crypto to cash, but this one here is they're picking up cash from old people who think they've been scammed because they've received too much money back when they've transferred money over in their bank account, whatever it is. But it's just more rampant. So, like I would look at something like that and think, now, why is this lady allowed to live in America? And why is she allowed to sit here and take $60,000 off somebody? And she wouldn't ring the cops. They were hoping that she would ring the cops. And then at the very end, which was even worse, she gets inside a taxi and the taxi driver doesn't give a shit and literally drives
Don't
off.
give her a ride. She's a bad girl. She's a scammer.
Whatever you want to do. She came to steal $60,000. Oh, I guess you don't give a shit, right?
He looked at me and he was like,
So the taxi driver come and picked up the scammer who was going to steal $60,000 and takes her off. So no one really cares. So although cryptocurrency is technically traceable via public records, transactions often create crypto technology makes it easier. I don't know. Did I read that? I think I did, but we're going to read it again.
Although cryptocurrency is technically traceable via public records, the transactions often create crypto technology makes it easier than ever to create an anonymous financial account. Crypto-to-cash desks thrive in this financial secrecy, according to Sanders and other experts I interviewed. In an increasingly common scenario, investigators trace illicit asset flows to secretive crypto wallets, whose owners they cannot identify and whose assets they cannot seize, because crypto-to-cash services often use cryptocurrency addresses whose ownership is unknown to law enforcement. Attempts to trace illicit transfers often go cold when a money launderer cashes out at such a service, officials said.
So if I owned the country, you wouldn't like me because I would tell everyone that's got crypto they need to put it back to fiat currency, and it's going to be illegal to do anything with crypto trading in a few months' time, and we're going to close it all down. And then anybody that wants to do any transactions would have to pay tax on the money they've made or lost, whatever it is. I don't know. What's the answer to it all? I mean, obviously, nothing wrong with crypto, but it's unregulated. If I can put $100,000 into crypto and then go to a help desk and turn that into cash, and they don't even ask me for ID, who's policing this?
Sanders' obsession with criminals using secretive crypto wallets has erupted in sometimes unhinged social media rants against industry players, including major blockchain analytics firms. He has called the industry full of grifters and snake oil salesmen more interested in profiting than identifying criminal wallet addresses.
Yeah, so we just got a comment in. Thank you very much.
Offshore bank accounts. Easy, you get a fake signing officer, or you find someone you can buy off as the officer.
Crazy, isn't it? So there's no policing it. It's just go for it. So once you're in Dubai or you want to travel all those other countries and you need some cash to buy a new car, you can just go to a hole in the wall machine, so to speak, with a real person and get a whole pile of cash and walk out the door and no one traces you. And everyone's bribable. So it's just
that anger
Wild
partly
West.
fuels Sanders' quixotic mission to collect these addresses one by one in order to reveal their ownership. By performing in-person transactions at as many cash desks as possible, he gathers digital receipts that can offer this information to investigators. Given the rapid spread of these services, that's a daunting task.
Yeah. Daunting chance.
Cryptocurrency was established nearly 2 decades ago in part to create a libertarian form of money without government oversight. The crypto-to-cash desks that I and ICIJ's partners visited showed one logical endpoint of this development: a world where traditional safeguards against dirty money are openly challenged by a politically powerful industry-wielding world. Changing technology.
Yep, we're just going to carry on reading.
Alona Katz, a prosecutor in New York who leads the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office's cryptocurrency unit, told me that her team continually traces the life savings stolen from Russian-speaking scam victims to what she can discern via blockchain analysis at crypto-to-cash services in Ukraine. But then her team often hit a dead end because analytics tools cannot tell them anything further about the operations, such as the exact businesses operating them, or their street addresses, or any contact information. All of this makes recovery of victims' funds nearly impossible, Katz said, adding, the next step is calling the victim and giving them the bad news.
Well, most of the scams that I go after, I see people who are putting large amounts of money. Like, if this is true, what somebody said yesterday, but we had somebody who put $250,000 into Goliath. Now they're trying to get their money out. And you kind of saying, well, how did the transaction happen? They used banks, so they said. It doesn't seem right to us. And we're going, didn't you see all the videos? Oh, I've just found out about you and all your videos, and now I'm concerned and I really want to get my money out. And I said, well, give us the bank account. Let us track it. And he goes, oh, it was the Bank of America. And we know it's not the Bank of America. So then you think, why are you telling us this? But then is there still a gateway open in the Bank of America? And then you think, is this a genuine complaint? There's so many underworld ways of transferring money around. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but if myself and the Avengers can't keep up with how the money's moving, then how is I met recently with a team of government law enforcement people, and they were impressed with the amount of research and the database that we had, and the intel that we had collected. They said we simply don't have the time and the budget to investigate like you guys do. So that's pretty scary, because we're just a very small team of people who are like a dog with a bone. If a government department is struggling to keep up with it, then obviously the criminal network can just keep flying like it is, and no one's really going to stop them, is it?
Sanders isn't alone in his effort to bring cash desks into the light, and when I accompanied him in Ukraine and the United Arab Emirates, his intelligence collection appeared relentless. Still, the more time I spent with him, and the more I learned about this industry, I couldn't help but think that his mission might be futile.
Yeah. So let's, do you have a story? Well, I reached out to these people. Well, they actually reached out to me. So if you do have a story about crypto, or you've lost crypto, especially to one of the scams I've been investigating, we would like to work with you. We'd like to know more about it. We've got a large database, and we add to it on a daily basis. Today, we added 3 new persons of interest into Goliath Ventures Inc. We've got over 133 people now, of people that have been either investing or helping other people invest. And I'll just show you what photos we get, because this was actually quite interesting. If I can find it. Now, remember, we're going for Goliath Ventures here. So this is an individual, which I don't need to say his name, but this person here is, a successful businessman. But then that little wee logo, somebody said, what do you notice about that photo? And that's Goliath Ventures logo. So this guy, he's now been added to our persons of interest list. These guys, this is Canada, so these are, we don't know all these people in the photos. Maybe you do. If you do, let us know. And then there was one other person that I wanted to bring a photo up of. Let's make sure I get the right person. I think it's this guy. All right, it won't be very clear, but this guy here. And he's an influencer. He's an influencer that's been introducing people into Goliath. And for some reason, he's an influencer because he introduced people into scams. I don't know. But, we start looking at these people. We start looking at their associates. And then we're thinking, well, maybe we're behind the times. Maybe these guys have got it sussed. Maybe they know how money moves around the internet better than me, and they're just using it to get the money as quick as they can so they can be untraceable. Who knows? But it's just sad. So I don't know if I read this paragraph because I have no memory.
Smoke and Mirrors Sanders, a New Jersey native, moved to Ukraine after training its police on crypto investigations in early 2023. From a distance, he blends in with other forest green-clad officers and security contractors commonly seen on Kyiv streets. The cargo pants, quick dry shirts with zip-up pockets, and wrap-around Oakley tough guy sunglasses are a convincing uniform. But a closer look, perhaps at the cartoon Borat very nice patch on the side of his tactical backpack, reveals he belongs to a command of his own.
Yeah, so another comment from David Chapman. Thank you very much. A Canadian... so what we've got in Canada, you can incorporate a company for $250, $140 here in New Zealand. No ID required. That's incredible. One can then open a bank account and operate a legitimate business. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, that does remind me of something that happened recently. There's a scam called prime10.co. And you can go there and visit that website. They have set themselves up a company here in New Zealand, claiming they operated from number 1 Victoria Street. Now, if you go to number 1 Victoria Street in Wellington, you'll find it actually is a 10 or a 12-story building. When they did their company registration, they didn't even put what floor they were on. So it was totally bogus. The company director, well, there's no digital footprint, didn't exist. The signature was real, but it looked like a 2-year-old signed it. And then what else did we find? Phone numbers, emails, websites, nothing. No traceability. So this person come along, set up a company called what did I say it was? topprime.co. They blocked the domain name from view. Unless you have a VPN, you can't view it within New Zealand. And then they set up this company telling everyone that they're a New Zealand company because it's clean green New Zealand. And then they started scamming people. But people would think, oh, because they're registered in New Zealand, it's a sure thing. They could go and look up the company on the New Zealand register. It's just absolutely amazing. So long story short, Prime, let's have a look, prime10.co. It would be confusing. So that's blocked. So, so I ring up, first of all, I go to the FMA, and the FMA says, we can't do much 2 months later. But the company office rang me up and goes, we'll send them a letter. And I said, well, where are you going to send them the letter to? And they go, to the address. And I go, what? Number 1 Victoria Street. It's just crazy. And then they go, yeah, but I said, there's no address there. So it's just crazy. So if I go here and I search for this company, just using this as an example. So we've finally got a warning, Prime 10, unsolicited messages, 2 months later. By this time, this company's already stolen all their money. There's their website coming up in the search results, turning 10 into tenfold with Prime 10. You can look at the company, but why did the company office, for a start, let them continue to be set up as a company? So if I went here, I'm just going to have to show you this, but let's go company office NZ. So we go to the company register when we search for Prime 10, and so I just noticed that here's another one. So it has been struck from the register. So that was, I don't know. Oh, sorry, I stuffed up on that one. Let's go back. But that's good news. So Prime 10. So they would still have the certificate of incorporation. So here's the certificate. So this is what they have on their website. When you could see their website, you would see this certificate of incorporation. And this doesn't say cancelled or anything. This is still live. So why are these companies stuck in the dark ages? If this company's been struck off, why don't they have... Oh, here it does actually say that. This was removed on the 17th of September. So I could go through the correspondence. But if you search for Prime 10, you will find probably... Here it is. A PDF. And this PDF I grabbed before their website went down and what they were offering. But if I go to debunk.com, so what I'm getting at here, guys, is these companies use some dirty tactics. The amount of energy and time that I had to put into stopping this company was exhausting. The company office has struck them off, which is absolutely amazing. It took 2 months for the New Zealand FMA to actually put out a warning. Why couldn't they just flick a switch, turn off their domain name? Why is their domain name still active? And it's just absolutely crazy. And the only reason that they put that block on that website is because I was chatting to the people that were running the scam on Telegram. And I said, I'm doing a video about them. Literally within real time, they blocked this while I was seeing it. So it's just a scam world we live in. So the only hope I can do now is go to archive.org if I don't have a VPN, which I personally don't like VPNs. They slow me down. I can put the top 10 in here, and there we go. So now I can come along here. If I know that the archive.org exists, I can basically, hopefully with a bit of luck, and now I should be able to bring this up. Here we go. But it takes up to maybe 4 or 5 months before it turns up on the Wayback Machine. And what are we getting? We're just going around in a loop, aren't we? I think we are. So it's looped itself. So I'm just going to go back to 5 captures. Oh no, it's stuffed itself. Maybe I clicked the button accidentally. But you get my drift. Just because you can set up a company, it doesn't mean shit, really. It's just the criminals know how to work the system better than anyone else, and that's going to be the problem. I'm just going to see if that actually works now. No hand on it. Yep, it just keeps redirecting to the Wayback Machine. So they've even figured a way of getting it out there. But if anyone does a search on here, they'll find me standing in front of the beehive, and people will message me saying, I see you did a blog on this. I'm still getting paid. It's not a scam. That's what they'll tell me. And then 6 months down the track, those same people will come back to me going, you were right. I thought it was real because I was getting paid money. And that's how Ponzi schemes work on the internet. So it's just criminals after criminals. So let's carry on so we're not here all day. So even if discloses currency, open accounts, major cryptocurrency, Twitter platforms, take that. Did we already do this? I think we did. I don't think we did, but I do want to read every part of it so I get my head around it.
Even the comedic references underscore his obsession with cryptocurrency crime. Dressed as Borat and Taylor Swift, albeit with his substantial black beard, Sanders reportedly opened accounts on major cryptocurrency platforms in 2020 while using fake names and bogus IDs. The stunt was designed to expose a serious alleged flaw: that anyone, no matter how ridiculous the disguise, can circumvent verification protocols to obtain a cryptocurrency account. He singled out the cryptocurrency exchange KuCoin for their so-called Know Your Customer, or KYC, checks.
Yeah, so the KYC details that we hear about are absolutely shocking. We've got a well-known scammer who had a stroke, and he was trying to blame the stroke on me, and his name is Shavis. And in here, we've got
I've got
video.
a whole list of questions that I've been collecting for probably 3 months now, 4 months. So,
and if you went through this video,
and I'm sure other people are going to have questions, but this is an opportunity for us to look backwards, I believe.
So listen to this. He's in Nigeria.
I'm using a Canadian.
Why don't you tell him how to create
and
fake
driving license to
KYC
verify my
details,
card,
Shavis,
but
to hide your
it's still telling me
identity?
it's unable to get verified. So I don't know what we can do about that.
Do you have a passport?
No, I have a Nigerian passport.
He lives in Canada.
Oh, okay. Do
Oh,
you
I'll
have
tell you
some
how to
other
do
ID?
it. Shut up, Danny.
Which is my Canadian driving license.
No.
And I would suggest you to. Where are you? You are in Canada?
Yeah.
Type on Google, get a Palau ID.
So he's just told the young guy there to get a Palau ID. A Palau ID is basically a country that will let you grab an ID, and then you can use that ID. So you become a citizen of a Palau, then you'll get an ID, and then you can use that ID. So you buy a Palau ID for like $200 or $300 because the country needs the money, and then you use that ID to create fake KYC details. So this same guy here has been on a Bloomberg documentary. This video that you're looking at has actually been removed off the internet 3 times. So I keep writing to YouTube, and so this is the same video here. But
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad.
But in
It's
here,
so effective.
this guy here talks about how they're doing pump and dump, how they're manipulating the results, how they. Oh, this was a secret video that they didn't want online, but it also just shows how the criminals are it's another day in the office for giving people advice on how to evade the law, which is what's really crazy too. So anyone that asks you to do KYC details, I just think it's a joke. They use third-party KYC providers, and it's like the old Wild West out there at the moment. And this isn't because crypto is new. Crypto is 20 or whatever it is, old now. So these criminals had a long time to set up their systems, and it's far superior than the real world.
The fact that anyone, right now, can go onto KuCoin without an ID, choose any name, and any ID number, and be approved for the first tire is not kike, Sanders told the Brave New Coin blog in 2020.
Yeah.
At the time, KuCoin disputed Sanders' claim, but in a guilty plea with US authorities earlier this year, the firm admitted it failed to conduct proper customer checks. KuCoin flouted US anti-money laundering laws by failing to implement effective anti-money laundering and Know Your Customer (KYC) programs, the Justice Department said.
Yeah, so it's just anarchy. It's the Wild West.
After settling in Ukraine, Sanders became focused on the proliferation of crypto-to-cash operations dotting the country's cities. While some were small operations with a single location, others belonged to national chains supported by sophisticated digital infrastructure. Sanders' primary concern wasn't the existence of these services, but rather the deep anonymity in which they function. Despite cryptocurrency addresses and transactions technically being visible on blockchain ledgers, experts say a huge portion of cryptocurrency addresses remain effectively anonymous strings of letters and numbers, even to law enforcement agents using the most advanced analysis tools.
Yeah. So why not arrest everyone because they get pardons, but people like the guy that runs Binance, why don't they go in there and say you're not allowed to do this anymore? Why are they allowed to control so much of the world's money? I mean, why can't you just go in there and say to Mr. Binance, we've had enough and we are seizing your company because we're America or wherever they are, and you're not allowed to do transactions anymore until you can track where all the money's coming from. Like, I would love to know that if I invested $500,000 into a Ponzi scheme or scam, that there's some way of stopping it or finding out who's at the other end. Now, I know the blockchain's fantastic and it's great and it's untraceable, but if they're facilitating, they're using it to do fraudulent activities, why are these companies still allowed to legally operate?
Governments around the world generally don't have their own crypto tracing tools, which are essential for such investigations, and instead rely on software provided by blockchain analysis firms. This puts law enforcement agents largely at the mercy of private sector tools, and the quality of the data those tools contain, to understand which crypto wallet addresses belong to whom. If criminal funds end up at an unknown address, there's often little even the most sophisticated investigators can do to recover those funds. This is one of Sanders' biggest fixations. If these data tools fail to properly attribute, or label, the ownership of wallet addresses belonging to criminal groups or crypto-to-cash operations, then they are effectively useless in countless investigations where funds end up at these addresses.
Yeah. So it's just anarchy, isn't it? Whoop, here we go. Next paragraph.
If you're not labeling it, then you don't understand what it is, Sanders said of cryptocurrency addresses. So if you don't understand what an address is tied to, then you can't call it clean. But that's the default in this industry.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we need our privacy when handling money? I mean, surely if we want to hide the transactions that we're doing, we may be doing it for a reason. And if it's privacy, that's one thing. But if it's to evade paying taxes, it's another thing. I don't know. I mean, is a bell necessary on a bike? Do we need to hide what we do if it's legitimate?
According to more than a dozen experts and cybercrime specialists in law enforcement, analytics tools often fail to identify the ownership of addresses used by crypto-to-cash services. Part of the problem is that new and secretive crypto addresses can be rapidly generated at the click of a button.
Yeah, that's good. I'll just say hi, Fergus. Yeah, the click of a button, you've lost your money, haven't you? Just trying to send a link to somebody who might pop in here and say good day. All right, according to a dozen, a part of the problem is that new and secretive crypto addresses can rapidly generate at a click of a button. Yeah, It's growing faster than mold, I can tell you
The
that now.
cryptocurrency world is a forest in autumn. Nick Furno, who works at the analytics firm TRM Labs and has written books on blockchain forensics, told ICIJ, take a picture, then you take another picture, and a second later that picture will have changed. Leaves will have fallen, breezes will have moved branches.
Yeah. Let's have a listen.
Sanders himself has to rely on tools maintained by the rapidly growing private analytics industry he has railed against. There's no other way he can input and map out the numerous cryptocurrency addresses he collects. According to 3 people I talked to with knowledge of this data, Sanders has contributed the ownership information of more than 11,200 cryptocurrency addresses to the analytics tool developed by Chainalysis, the multi-billion-dollar leader in the blockchain analytics space. This makes him by far the world's biggest contributor to the part of Chainalysis system that allows any user to label crypto addresses on its tool, wiki style. He's done, like, 8 in the past 2 hours, one investigator told me as he confirmed Sanders' number of Chainalysis contributions. He does this all day.
Amazing. So you can see that picture there in the background. Obviously, it's got a exchange rate, and it's telling it how much money it will give you in cash, and then put your hole in the wall machine, and away it goes. Several blockchain investigators have said that the known address of crypto to cash deaths around the world would barely be recorded if Sanders or tiny circles of other research had done the work to identify their ownership. The industry norm, I have to read this because I'm no good at reading.
The industry norm is to pick up analysis tools for optics, Sanders said. So much of it is smoke and mirrors.
Money laundering nightmare. Here we go.
Sanders talked endlessly about the crypto industry, but was less interested in discussing his personal life. What he describes as a difficult upbringing that drove him into the military at a young age. No one joins the army at 17 for a good reason, Sanders told me.
No.
His roles in the military generally involved high-tech, battlefield intelligence gathering on enemy target locations in Afghanistan and elsewhere. A few years after he left active duty in 2011, Sanders helped an acquaintance in law enforcement gather evidence for a counter-terrorism investigation involving Bitcoin. He said, his first time dealing with cryptocurrency, the technology fascinated and terrified him.
Yeah, you do. I often think, what's the world coming to? What's this all about,
I realized that pretty much if you get scammed or hacked in crypto, you're Ed, Sanders told me. I also realized if there aren't people that step up and do this, and do it honestly, this is just going to be a money laundering nightmare.
Okay.
In 2019, he established the US branch of Cipher Blade, a British firm that has been at the frontier of blockchain forensics since the early days of the field, according to its website. Then, in early 2023, Sanders traveled to Ukraine in part to help its national police on blockchain investigations. Appalled by Russia's invasion of the country, Sanders had already toyed with the idea of volunteering for Ukraine's army. He has mostly stayed in the country since, volunteering for the national police.
Wow, that's pretty big. That logo, I don't know what that means, but I assume that's like a badge of honor of some sort. Is that like the police force badges?
Pop culture and comedic references, like this Cheshire Cat patch, adorn Rich Sanders' outfits.
Oh, well, there you go. We just got told what it was. Let's have a look and see what else. Cheshire Cats. Let's go here. See if we can find it. Oh, look, they're everywhere. There we go. So what have we got? Cheshire Cat embroidered patch. You can get them on Amazon, eBay. Cheshire Cats. There you go. Now I know everything. Still don't see the relevance, but we'll find out, I'm sure.
After moving to Ukraine, Sanders' volunteer work there became a distraction from a startup branch 5,000 miles away that he was still, at least notionally, helping to manage. A breaking point came in June 2023, when Russian forces destroyed Ukraine's Kharkovka Dam, unleashing floodwaters into downstream cities that killed hundreds and stranded others on rooftops. David Sharp, a Kyiv-based American who has volunteered for humanitarian organizations in the country, scrambled to find trucks to carry water filtration systems to the inundated city of Kherson.
I remember thinking, maybe this crypto guy has some money.
Sharp told me, referring to Sanders. He was able to track down Sanders, and within an hour Sanders was buying a used 17-seat Ford van for the mission, Shupp said. Later that day, Shupp and Sanders arrived in Kherson. Shupp said Sanders had enthusiastically agreed to help operate one of the rescue boats, despite shelling by Russian forces across the Dnipro River that had killed some in the vessels.
We don't have no idea what's going on in the world, do we?
By the time Sanders returned to Kyiv shortly after, his co-managers at Cypherblade had decided to move on without him. Sanders' identification of cryptocurrency addresses from crypto-to-cash services has yielded significant results for Ukrainian federal law enforcement, according to Yevgeny Panchenko, first deputy head of the National Police's International Police Cooperation Department. Panchenko formerly helped lead that agency's cyber crimes division. These are really difficult and really unique activities, Panchenko said of Sanders' work. I don't know another man who has done so much attribution around OTCs, a common term for the cash desks that do over-the-counter swaps.
Oh, wow.
Panchenko said that at least in Ukraine, the cash desks operate in a vacuum of regulation, and can therefore offer a convenient route for Russia to pay operatives inside the country. He's hopeful the government will soon enact safeguards on these operations, which he has seen used by a wide variety of bad actors.
Why can't we just make decisions a lot faster?
It doesn't matter what type of crimes you commit, or what sphere you operate in, Panchenko said. It's all of them.
So if you do have any information along this article, they do have a lot of places where you can actually provide them information. The deepest, darkest hole. Let's see what we've got now.
Gathering crypto addresses from brick-and-mortar shops in Kyiv proved to be a surprisingly low-tech and time-consuming process. One cash desk we visited was in a drab subterranean casino directly off the city's central Independence Square. In 2014, the square was the site of a bloody crackdown on protesters by Ukraine's pro-Russian former president. The casino was signposted, with a rotating T symbolizing the cryptocurrency called Tether, and to be representing Bitcoin. Here, I did my own transaction. It unfolded with impressive speed. At the counter, a bored-looking woman with flawlessly manicured nails handed me a form to fill out. At first I thought maybe the company was trying to verify my identity, but then I read the form.
What did it say? By signing this?
By signing this form, I confirm the Telegram username listed here. It read, I put down my anonymous username on Telegram, a messaging service that cash desks often use in Ukraine and elsewhere, and signed the form. That was enough. I sent the desk's crypto wallet 1,200 Tether, a cryptocurrency pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar, and the clerk handed me a dozen crisp $100 bills, the exact sum, with no fee.
What? Oh my goodness. So you can just swap it straight out. That's better than exchanging it from one exchange to another.
After visiting several more nearby crypto-to-cash operations, including 3 on a single city block, I arranged on Telegram to visit a cash desk in the back room of a narrow deli. Sanders and I proceeded past a couple buying ice cream to the rear, where I pressed an electronic buzzer on a door labeled Currency Exchange. 2 men in polo shirts and wearing Apple Watches signaled us into a sparse room and closed the door. A desk was equipped with a cash counting machine, an old-school plastic calculator and a small cardboard box filled with rubber bands for binding stacks of bills. One of the attendants flashed a QR code that connected my cryptocurrency wallet to theirs for the transaction. I sent 1,200 Tether to their crypto wallet. The cash machine shuffled to life, and in an instant one of the men handed me a stack of money wrapped in a thick rubber band. Welcome to the Wild West, Sanders said after we stepped outside. This is a way to move money with absolutely zero checks.
Unreal. So there you go. We're answering all those questions. How do they get how do they hide? How do they launder the money? It's now just in the streets. It's crazy.
I discovered that this unassuming business controlled cryptocurrency addresses that together had moved millions of dollars in a matter of months, including some crypto assets linked to a sanctioned Russian crypto service that allegedly enabled the financing of spies and informants globally, according to an analysis of the cash desk's cryptocurrency address used for my exchange.
My exchange.
In the roughly 5 weeks around my visit, it moved hundreds of thousands of dollars in Tether with an average individual transaction amount of roughly $15,000, about twice as much as the average Ukrainian's annual salary.
$15,000 average.
Katz, the New York cyber crimes prosecutor, described herself as desperate for information about the otherwise anonymous cryptocurrency addresses that these cash-out services used. For 2 years, her team has spent long hours tracing cryptocurrency stolen from a growing number of victims, who have flooded her office with cases stemming from sophisticated investment scams. Blockchain analysis tools, Katz said, often fail to provide the ownership data needed to trace stolen funds to these operations, leaving investigators with little more than strings of letters and numbers to go on.
It's just a never-ending battle. I mean, we track stuff. People go to us, oh, can you have a look at this scam? At one point I had 80 to 100 scams that I haven't had a time to even look at. But every time I go there, they're all exactly the same profile, Sometimes there's a point of difference, but not many times.
Elderly scam victims who contacted her office after losing their life savings are contemplating homelessness in their 70s and 80s, Katz said. Their entire life was gone in the blink of an eye.
I've talked to people. Peter Lucas. Is it Peter? What was Mr. Lucas? Mike Lucas. If I come to my own YouTube channel, and if I search for Lucas, I should find a guy that was bedridden. Mike Lucas. And I interviewed Mike. And it's exactly what happened. Keith Williams was the man that got him into it. And see if we can have a look. So I pleaded, this is the guy here. And this was a guy bedridden, and he worked one day a week somehow. And then, he put all his pension money into it. He only had 75 grand, but he decided to put all his money into it. See what he's got to say for himself.
Because they showed us this plan.
Yeah.
That after 600 days, you will accumulate a certain amount of money. So I figure if I added more money to the account that I will, after the 600 days, that I could start withdrawing some of my money back.
Right. Yep. And how much did you put in?
25 altogether.
Oh my God. Oh, I just about fell over when he said that. Oh boy, how times have changed. 25's chicken feed now. People putting more in there. Seems like they double down. Hi, Susie. Nice to see you here. Lots to catch up on. We certainly do. Just going through this. You actually gave me this article again today, and it's the third time I've seen it. So I thought I'd do a bit of a follow-up on it. Get into the car, receive the cash. How about this?
The biggest exception to anonymity in blockchain data are the many millions of addresses created by mainstream cryptocurrency exchanges, which often make their accounts easy to identify in public data.
Yeah, let's carry on. There's a big word in there. But paradoxically, I'm giving it a guess.
Cryptocurrency exchanges function as the banks of the crypto world, allowing users to deposit, hold, and withdraw crypto funds through these centralized services. Paradoxically, some of the same crypto exchanges that investigators rely upon to trace illicit funds have reaped enormous profits from moving billions in dirty money.
Just moving dirty money around makes people money. How does that work?
These funds came from terrorists, fentanyl traffickers, and money laundering organizations. Visits to more than a dozen cash desks raised questions. Do the major crypto exchanges have any idea where the money is going when they send big transactions to high-risk cash desks? And do they care?
I can tell you they don't. We've been chasing down Pakistani software houses, and they got raided back in 2021. So what they've done now is they've set up shop in 6 different countries. And one of those companies have managed to negotiate a deal with America and pay a $50 million fine for being fentanyl traffickers. So we've exposed them, proved that they've done it, and now we've found out that they have basically, they've been able to negotiate their way out of it by paying a big fine to America. So it's just basically saying, yep, we're doing things illegal, but if we pay you for it, it's not illegal. But it's just amazing.
An analysis of wallets collected by ICIJ from more than a dozen cash desks indicates that customer accounts at major exchanges, including Binance, Bybit, and OKX, are significant senders of large dollar amounts to these operations that often asked for no client identification.
Yeah, I get so tired of it. But here we go, some shops. So we've got Kraken. I don't even know, BYMB, Bybit, Binance, and OKX. Major cryptocurrencies proclaim their compliance efforts. So they think they're compliant. So how can people use their services and they claim they are compliant when we know that the people who are, changing crypto into cash, there's no way of verifying where that crypto came from before they turn it into cash. And who are we relying on to verify where the money has come from? How do they prove that crypto that they're trading is theirs?
Binance did not address questions about its transactions with cash-heavy businesses directly, but said that it is an industry leader in compliance. Binance dedicates over 1,280 employees and invests millions of dollars every year to provide a safe and trustworthy platform for users, and works hand in hand with law enforcement agencies around the world on investigations of every nature, proactively blocking and tracing funds originated from illicit activities.
I think 1,280 employees is nothing. You would expect to have, 50,000 employees. That's a relatively small company for somebody who uses crypto to move money around. I mean, that's not much at all. Just saying.
Bybit did not provide comment about its transactions with cash desks. In response to questions on the desks, OKX said it has robust compliance controls. The firm said it works closely with law enforcement agencies worldwide and operates multiple dedicated teams focused on detecting, investigating, and preventing sophisticated financial crime and the networks that underpin it.
Wow. Okay, I'm getting really hot in here.
A crypto investigator shared with me a wallet address associated with a crypto-to-cash desk in Armenia that he had visited with Sanders earlier this year. The investigator asked to remain anonymous for safety reasons. This operation used a wallet address that had, over 2 years, racked up more than $160 million in Tether transactions. The operation's wallet address has received some funds directly from the now-sanctioned Russian exchange Garantex, according to an analysis of the wallet address's activity. But the wallet's activity also included major incoming transactions from Kraken, one of the United States' largest exchanges. In July 2024, a Kraken account sent the wallet associated with this Armenian cash desk 7 transactions, amounting to more than $2.1 million.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. So you're talking about the best views. So this is an advert going across the top of the screen now where I keep getting these people who are using Twitch. Best views, streampoo.com. And notice I put a space between the .com. And so then I banned them, and now we've got Microsoft Certified Trainer. He's gone in there and also banned them. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, I get every time I go live, I get one of those creepy people. It's crazy. What I found interesting about this article is that the landscape has already changed. It has. It's talking about a crypto to cash desk. But look at what's happening with illegitimate crypto cards. Yeah. So how do these, in the world we live in, surely if a card hasn't been issued by somebody credible like MasterCard and Visa, if they are credible, why are they allowed to have these cards that work on ATM machines? Well, I mean, there must be some sort of, you know what I'm saying? There must be some sort of loophole that is being exploited, which just blows me away. All right, so Kraken
did not respond directly to questions about whether the exchange knew what kind of business owned this wallet address. Kraken did say that it cooperates with law enforcement and that it maintains rigorous know your customer and due diligence procedures at onboarding and throughout the client relationship. The firm also said that it monitors all deposits and withdrawals.
Well, monitors them. That's just fantastic, isn't it? So let me just imagine that Kraken has a cafeteria down the bottom. I walk in there and I just steal a can of drink. And I go to walk out the shop. What do you think they would do? They would call the police. I'd be arrested and I'd have fingerprints. But when it comes to somebody coming in here lying and get some money, can I transfer? Can I open a crypto wallet account? Yeah, sure. Use fake KYCTs? Yeah, sure. Put money in which isn't verified where it come from. No one's asking any questions. And that's what really horrifies me with these companies.
The courier arrives at the agreed point by car. You get into the car, receive cash, and count it. A group called 60sec told me on Telegram in response to a question about how the system works in New York City. The blockchain tracing firm Chainalysis has identified 60sec as having close links to the Russian financial system.
Great. So there we go. So you go to America, do your money laundering, and it all links back to Russia. Is that what I'm hearing?
ICIJ and partner reporters also communicated via Telegram with 001K Exchange, a Ukraine-based firm that offers crypto to cash courier services in major cities around the world. This includes Montreal, New York, Los Angeles, and Miami, places it does not have a money transmitting license.
Crazy. Cray. Okay, so what's this? I'll read that paragraph to about over. Here we go.
001K did not provide comment for this story. In early November, as part of the coin laundry investigation, a reporter for the Toronto Star communicated in an undercover capacity with 001K over.
1K over. Telegram sent.
Telegram and sent the firm 2,000 Tether to exchange for cash. Instead of asking for a customer name or ID, the service asked the reporter to take a photograph of the serial number on a $5 bill, and then instructed her to present the same banknote at the cash handoff to prove.
Oh my God. Prove.
Dollar bill, and then instructed her to present the same banknote at the cash handoff to prove herself to be the same person who had provided the crypto. According to experts interviewed by ICIJ's Canadian reporting partners, this transaction likely violated Canadian anti-money laundering laws.
No doubt. It doesn't matter because they're not following the laws.
001K is no small operator. Since August 2022, it has received more than $14.8 billion in cryptocurrency, according to data Chainalysis provided to ICIJ. It is unclear what portion of this total is composed of courier services versus other exchanging services that 001K provides.
So it's just like the cartel network have now got their banking on the real world, and it's just open, transparently. You can see everything that's happening. So why is that allowed to happen?
ICIJ found that 001K accounts have in turn sent significant sums to major cryptocurrency exchanges. Over the past 2 years, customer accounts at Binance received more than $400 million in crypto transactions from 001K, and such accounts at OKX received more than $54 million from the organization. According to an ICIJ analysis of data contained in the blockchain tool Arkham Intelligence, customer accounts at Kraken received more than $13 million from 001K accounts, while customer accounts at Whitebit received more than $1.1 billion from the service, according to the analysis.
See, it's just billions and millions and no accountability.
Kraken and Binance did not respond directly to questions about 001K, but said they have robust compliance systems. Whitebit and OKX did not comment on the transactions.
I'm falling asleep.
This indicates a connection to a criminal syndicate that needs to offload cash, says Pamela Clegg, a blockchain investigations expert who has done work for crypto firms and traditional banks, especially if they are paying people to take their money.
This is a long article, just saying. I hope it gets exciting soon.
It's like hidden money. In late September, I met Sanders in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, a glittering city where sanctioned Russian oligarchs, deposed dictators and indicted crypto charlatans vanish with their fortunes into opulent anonymity. In other words, the perfect place for Sanders to resume reconnaissance for a few weeks.
Wow, there you go. So off to Dubai we go.
He had come to collect crypto wallet addresses via numerous test transactions at crypto vendors across the city. He wouldn't tell me who exactly he was working for, but someone had evidently given Sanders a significant budget. In addition to being a top destination for suspect wealth, Dubai has one of the highest rates of crypto use on Earth, according to crypto analysts, and Sanders saw it as an ideal opportunity to uncover abuse.
All right, I'm going to read this whole section all in one go, so you take it all in. It's quite a big section, but I think let's hear it in its entirety. Right, and this is what, if I am a criminal in Dubai and I have a crypto wallet, 10, 20, however, millions in USD, it is simple.
If I'm a criminal in Dubai and I have a crypto wallet with 10, 20, however many million in USDT, it's simple. I can get whatever I want, Sanders said, using the common abbreviation for Tether. Charter a yacht, done. Rent a F. Own car, done. Want a hooker? Here's a F. Own crypto wallet to pay for that. You want gold? Here's a F. Own wallet. A cab took us to a sleek complex of 3-story buildings devoted to the wholesaling of gold bars, diamonds and jewelry. Sanders walked into a shop that looked no different from any regular jewelry store. But he saw it as an intelligence target, a place where a criminal could discreetly change crypto into rectangular gold bars worth tens of thousands of US dollars. To obtain the shop's cryptocurrency address, Sanders bought a 100-gram gold bar for 13,000 tether. A few doors away, a jewelry shop was selling individual diamonds in neat plastic packaging. Sanders had visited the shop a few days earlier and struck up small talk with the seller about the wonders of cryptocurrency. It's the safest way, paying with the crypto, the man had told Sanders. It's like hidden money. The city was also dotted with crypto-to-cash businesses. They operated from tiny offices on the upper floors of skyscrapers, in shabby storefronts, and inside glass-walled co-working spaces. One was nestled in the back of an art gallery of sorts selling particularly gaudy pieces, including a portrait of Elon Musk holding a golden Bitcoin. At a cramped desk, under the gaze of 15 surveillance cameras, a woman told me the maximum they could convert to hard cash on the spot was 200,000 tether. Another crypto-to-cash changer, a Russian man with muscles threatening to burst from a tight-fitting tan polo, was visibly unimpressed with Sanders' $5,000 crypto-to-cash exchange. One day, you can take me 30,000 USDT, he said.
Wow. That is amazing. Wow. So he can change out $200,000 in one transaction. I was falling asleep there. So here we are. We're in a jeweler shop. Do you want to buy a luxury yacht? You can use cash. Here he is in a jeweler shop. There's my car. It's a convertible one. Yeah. Okay. In addition to crypto cash desk, Dubai also offers crypto to almost anything, including luxury cars, super yacht, experiences, gold, and more. So you can just basically use it like it's everyday everything.
Sanders described visiting a crypto-to-cash operation inside a residential apartment in Dubai the day before I arrived, where the glares of his three counterparties left him concerned they'd turn violent if they discovered his real motivation. It was me and two beefy Russian dudes and this young dominatrix-looking young Russian chick, Sanders said. I wouldn't describe them as being overly warm. I asked if he could take me there. Sanders didn't hesitate. Sure, I can bring a knife this time, he said. I dropped the idea.
Oh my God.
In the city's Tony Marina district, I found my way into the sleek office where deals were completed for ultra-luxury waterfront condominiums, some with trophy berths for yachts. We do take crypto, yes, but not officially, the representative with long green nails told me.
Sorry, I'm falling asleep. It's too hot in my room and I don't have any air conditioning.
Several yacht chartering firms told me that they took tether. Same with the private helicopter service. Sanders had already collected several of these cryptocurrency addresses. He pointed to one where his blockchain analytics tool detected a torrent of money pouring into a yacht charterer's crypto address from a cryptocurrency scam operation. Someone literally took scam money and used it to go out on a yacht, Sanders said.
Sorry, that shouldn't be funny. I found it funny.
One evening, as I was in a cab back to my hotel in Dubai, I called my editor to discuss my odds of renting a Lamborghini using cryptocurrency. The answer was a definitive no. My cab driver, a middle-aged Pakistani man, had been listening and chimed in.
What did he say? Chimed in and says, hey, I have a Lamborghini you can hire. Let me guess.
So, if you're having trouble renting the Lamborghini, I have a friend that can do it. Any type you want. I asked if his friend would take payment in cryptocurrency. Of course, the driver said, and provided a WhatsApp number. The multitude of cryptocurrency off-ramps in Dubai was dizzying, and Sanders was trying to collect them one by one. As the days went by, he began to fray.
Yeah, this is a completely impossible task for one person, he told me. I am exhausted. That's where was it? How did we get that? Do we have to highlight all that, doesn't we? I think we do. Making, there we go. Oops, I'm going to read a few of them because I'm starting to fall asleep, but it's not a good look. Hopefully I'll stay awake. Let's have a go. It's going to be good.
Making matters worse for Sanders' mission, crypto-to-cash desks in Dubai had adopted more sophisticated methods to evade digital tracking than he was accustomed to in Ukraine. Some desks, he said, were generating new crypto wallet addresses every other day with which to conduct their business. These frequent wallet changes were nearly impossible to keep up with because he needed to visit with the services to obtain their new addresses. In many cases, the intelligence he collected was becoming obsolete in a matter of weeks or even days. One Russia-linked chain of cash desks in the city was changing its wallet addresses so often that keeping its blockchain attribution updated would require somebody to go and transact every single day, Sanders said. There's absolutely no legitimate reason why an OTC should be cycling wallets. That should just not be tolerated. On the 41st floor of a blue glass office tower, in a narrow office with no sign on its door, a friendly man wearing a grey pinstripe blazer and Adidas sandals sat in a swivel chair in front of a sweeping view of the city.
Yes.
The drawer filled to the brim with each stack some cash. Sanders
What the hell?
business was changing its wallets often, like others.
Enhance. We're gonna
Meeting so many people from where we are
we're
getting
gonna change the voice. Have a listen.
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting that desk to collect its new crypto addresses after Sanders left Dubai?
Did you like that? So I can even have Grandpa.
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting that desk to collect
Let's
its
try
new
another one.
crypto?
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting that desk to collect its new crypto addresses after Sanders left Dubai?
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting?
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic?
Here we go. Another one.
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic?
That
And
does
who would
sound
keep
like an
visiting
Aussie.
that desk to collect?
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting that desk to collect its new crypto addresses after Sanders left Dubai?
Wow. Let's go back to Samantha. Sam.
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting that desk to collect its new crypto addresses after Sanders left Dubai?
Let's try Daniel. Well, I've got a Daniel voice that's close to Sam.
But I wondered, was this labor and cost-intensive strategy of repeatedly visiting the operation realistic? And who would keep visiting that desk to collect?
We're not going to read that. Let's carry
I
on.
considered the future we're already living in, a world where creating anonymous accounts was no longer a specialty of dodgy law firms in the Cayman Islands, or Bermuda practicing the dark arts of financial secrecy, but available to anyone with a smartphone at the click of a button, and on a practically unlimited scale. Even if Sanders had a whole team deployed in Dubai, their work would be endless. 50, it seemed to me, it can take a person an hour, and 80, access to significant funds, to travel to 55, a cash desk and do a transaction, 80, while it can take a crypto vendor a mere moment to create a new wallet address for free.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so you don't need to open up a bank account. You just open up a crypto
I didn't think Sanders
account.
was ready to accept it, but the war he had been waging against anonymity and crypto seemed impossible to win. Then, 2 weeks after I returned from Dubai, he sent me a...
Maybe that's just a little bit too fast. What do you reckon? Now I've stuffed it up. Speaking announcements. Your idea, Susie. Here it is. Let's put it back to, we'll just go a little bit
60.
faster. Here we go. 60%.
I didn't think Sanders was ready to accept it, but the war he had been waging against anonymity and crypto seemed impossible to win. Then, 2 weeks after I returned from Dubai, he sent me a message. His time in Dubai had led him to a new state of despair. He wrote, I am finally at the point of watching the world burn.
Oh, right. Contributing reporters. So there you go. That's basically the article. I just wanted to go through that one, get that one on my system. I thought it was quite interesting. So basically, if you're thinking that, you know, that getting crypto into real world is hard. So no, if you want cash, you basically can go to any of those countries and just get some. So that's why these criminals are so much wanting their, it's just a shame. These guys just want to get as much crypto as possible, get it turned into cash. I know there's a scammer over in Dubai at the moment called Christopher Diago, and he's bought 2 houses and a black Ferrari. Now, he would have used cash to do so. He wouldn't have needed a bank account or anything to set up what he's done, and he would have basically got his crypto, transferred it into cash. And, you know, and what's anyone going to do to stop him? And talking about Christopher, if you are curious what the latest is on Goliath Ventures, I'll just make sure I can bring up the window without incriminating anybody. 1 second, please, caller. And that is a yes. So you can go to my LinkedIn profile, and I really recommend that you connect with me on LinkedIn. I have nearly 15,000 followers, and we basically get quite a few articles out. So currently we've been following Christopher from Goliath Ventures Inc. And just 3 days ago, we published an article. And if you come down the bottom here, you can see we get some 5,000 impressions. And we see that he's shaking hands here with the FBI director. And we've actually named and shamed a few individuals that are working with him. But if you go back a bit and go to other articles, you can see that we're also taking down the Pakistani software houses, but this content, 72,000 people. And we can judge how big a scam this is. People here, Pakistani people who have been told that they'll earn X amount of dollars working for these companies, and then if they don't meet their sales quota, they don't get paid, and they hold back their money until they do. And they will be ringing up people like the Indian call centers, and they'll be telling entrepreneurial people that they will ghostwrite their book for them. We've spoken to one lady who's paid $125,000 to have her book written. She managed to get $25,000 back from the scammers because she decided that she wouldn't take the Hollywood marketing package, and we helped that lady, find the truth. So even though white-collar crime is rampant, and we've got people like Christopher Diego, who's now ran away to Dubai, it's unlikely that he will return. It is actually breathtaking to watch how these criminals are grabbing as much loot as they can as this Wild West unfolds. So in my mind, after reading that article, it was worthwhile. Hopefully it was worthwhile to you as well. The purpose was really telling you how easy it is for these criminals. They know how the networks work. They know how to get their crypto back to cash if they need it. You don't even need to give identity. You just need to either buy somebody or pay somebody off, or just turn up and say you don't have it. They will still take your money. All right, guys. Well, that's me. My phone's ringing. I hope you enjoyed that article, and we'll see you guys in the next live. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.